All right, what's good, y'all? I know it's been a minute since we talked about the stocks and whatnot. I haven't put no information on stocks out in a good while. My bad for that. I've been putting this podcast together, and y'all should check that out. Called the Blaqamore podcast. It's on my YouTube as well, and we talk about everything basically, everything under the sun. That's what we talking about. Okay, from stocks to health to a bunch of political things to men and women in relationships, all of that. So make sure y'all tune into that. But today, right now, we talking about stocks in particular. We talking about Nike. And I wanted to talk about this a little earlier, but like I said, I was busy putting a podcast together. Recently they did the deal with Colin Kaepernick, where they re-signed him, and people, well, there's a lot of people who are very excited about it, very happy, and then there's those who were very, very upset. All right. So, a question I've been getting is, what do I think about Nike stock? Should I be buying that stock right now? So I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. The first, let's start with the ugly first. Okay. We have to understand that Nike is a business. So when Nike re-signed Colin Kaepernick, make no mistake, that was a 100% business move. That does not mean that they was down for the cause. They wasn't putting their neck out on the line and making a statement and all of this other great, noble things. That's not why they did it. They did it because it made business sense. That's not to say that maybe they do believe in it. I'm not certain. I'm not here to demonize them or call them a fraud or nothing like that. I'm just saying the primary reason for them doing that was 100% financially motivated. Nike was not the only company who offered Colin Kaepernick a deal. He had multiple deals. The athletic apparel industry were treating Colin Kaepernick much better than the NFL. The nigga had multiple deals on the table. Farmer language. But he had multiple deals on the table. Okay? Why would this be? Because they seen money. There's money in signing Colin Kaepernick. Okay? Now, you might be asking, how is them? Oh, hold on. Before I go into that, though, also, just a little fun fact. Nike right now is facing a class action lawsuit for mistreating women in the workplace. They claim it's been going on for years and all of that. I haven't studied up on the case, all that. I'm not here to say how true it is, how false it is, but they are facing a class action lawsuit. Okay. So why does this matter? People who buy most of the type of products that Nike sell or all these other athletic apparel companies sell, we talking about people of color, we talking about women, and we talking about millennials, those born in the 80s and midway through the 90s. That's the millennial generation. These three groups of people spend the most money on that type of shit. Also, these three groups of people are much more likely to be liberal-minded, liberal-leaning people. And most liberal-minded or liberal-leaning people are going to side with Colin Kaepernick as opposed to oppose him, like more conservative-minded people. Conservative-minded people being mostly older white men. Older white men don't spend as much money on the type of products that Nike and them sell. So that's what they did, is the classic know your customer. What can make the type of customers that we have happy and what we have going on. That's why Colin Kaepernick was pretty much perfect. So, first of all, North America makes up 39% of Nike sales. And of that 39%, understand that the majority of the 39% are the people I just described, the liberal-minded people, the people of color, women, and millennials. That's who spend the most on that, on that type of product. All right. So I do find it interesting while Nike is going through their little class action lawsuit for mistreating women, and women would be part of the liberal-minded groups of people that I described. Then they pull a move like this, or they seem to be, I don't want to call them desperate, but they made sure they inked the deal. Because like I said, Colin Kaepernick had other deals. They made sure they inked the deal with Colin. So, it's kind of like this is going to be way bigger news than whatever they're going through. Now, and maybe what they're going through is false. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just looking at headlines and shit like that. All right? But it's a business decision. Now, do they happen to believe in it as well? I don't know. I'm not making that claim. But I am saying I will claim that if they do, that is secondary. Now it could be a win-win because they might believe in it as well, and you probably have to some degree to even stand for it, as pissed off as it makes people. So it's a good chance that the majority of the decision makers probably do, if they give a fuck one way or the other. But I just wanted to make that clear. So that's the ugly, okay? So now let's get to the good. Is Nike a good company to invest in? Despite what I said, sure it is. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest, but I don't believe it. You can't lose with Nike like that. They've been around for decades. They have low debt. They got positive free cash flow. It's institutionally owned. It's low short interest. These are all things that make up, at the very least, a relatively safe investment. I'll talk about all these things in my book, Everything You Need to Know About Stocks. You can get that on Amazon, by the way. You can search my name, Blaqamore Hampton, or just type in the title, Everything You Need to Know About Stocks. But yeah, it has all those things. It's been around for decades. Low debt, positive free cash flow, institutionally owned, low short interest. It's not. I mean, they have a brand, Nike. Everybody know what Nike is. They have good market share. I haven't looked at the trends of the market share and all that, but I'm pretty sure they have dominant market share in their respective areas. So, and also, like I just got done explaining, how they know their customer and the type of people buying their products, so they know what type of ads to put out, so they know that it's a smart decision to go with Colin Kaepernick. You don't have to worry about they're alienating half of their customers. That's not how you make money. First, it's not half. That's not half. First of all, it's a small percentage of the 39% of the people who make up Nike sales. It's a smaller percentage of those who are probably pissed off at the Colin Kaepernick ad. And then most people who's pissed off are burning Nikes that they done already purchased any goddamn way. So it don't even matter. They can boycott. They say they boycotting, and let's say they really are boycotting. People don't stay mad that long. People was boycotting United Airlines just last year. The stock is at a near all-time high, higher than it was at the time he started the boycott. Same thing with Target. People was mad at Target boycotting them. I think they did like a bathroom with the transgenders or something like that. The boycott lasted a while, but once again, today they're near all-time highs. The stock price is higher than it was at the time of the boycott. So anyway, I don't think that's really nothing to worry about. People emotions fade away. But I will say this: one difference between Nike and the two other companies I said with the boycotts, Target and United Airlines. You know, Target and United Airlines, we kind of dealing with convenience. You know, United Airlines, people gotta fly. Target, sometimes you might have to grab something from the store right quick. Walmart may be an extra 3 miles. You don't want to do all that. You might still stop at Target. So it may be a little bit more inconvenient to boycott companies like that as opposed to a company like Nike, where, you know, there's plenty of competition. You don't have to go with Nike. You can get your Adidas, your Filas, your Under Armour, your Reebok, whoever, you know. Even with H&M, though, I think H&M would kind of fall into the Nike category, though, and people right back at H&M, so boycott ain't about nothing. But on the same token, sales increased 31% shortly after the news of the Colin Kaepernick shit. So so now we get into the potential bad. Sales spiked up like 31% after Labor Day when they did the rollout. And around that time last year, I think sales had went up like 17%. As long as Nike had people smart enough there to not just look at the numbers without factoring in the context of this is most likely an anomaly because their customers are so happy about the Colin Kaepernick shit, and that's why sales spike like that, and it's not to be sustained. As long as they're smart enough to recognize that, and I like to believe that they are, since I am, so they don't make too ambitious of like revenue guidance or goals or nothing like that, then everything should be okay. But if they aren't smart enough to realize that their sales increase the way that they did in the short term like that because of an anomaly, and then they raise expectations too high, I could see a quarter where Nike misses earnings and it hurts stockholders. I could see that happening. But I would like to believe that they are smart enough not to do so, but you never know. It's a lot of things where I think people are smarter than what they really are. So we can't really bank on that. But anyway, all in all, it's a decent company to hold. I'm not discouraging anybody from buying Nike just because I said they did it for business reasons. Actually, if you're going to own the stock, you probably should, and I probably should encourage you to buy a bunch of Nike, because if you buy a bunch of Nikes and the stock price goes up. So that's my 2 cents on that. Other than that, make sure y'all check the podcast where we talk about everything, even outside of stocks. Also, I think what I'm going to do, this idea just hit me just now, because like I said, I got this question, and I was getting this question a lot when the Kaepernick shit happened. So I think I'm gonna start a little Q&A blog. So whatever questions y'all have about stocks and investing and whatnot, really anything, but especially stocks, shoot me an email or write it in a comment or DM me, whatever. Hit me up on all my social medias at Blaqamore. And, you can hit the email, newblakwallstreet@gmail.com. I'll have all the information in the description. Shoot me whatever questions y'all have about stocks. I'll answer them in a video blog, and we'll move forward from there. So, yeah. I'll check y'all on the next one.